So, generally speaking, I guess this is, we've done a horror movie already, because we did The Lost Boys on Halloween.
We did.
This is more of a horror comedy. So, what do you think about that genre?
Horror comedy is right up my alley because you like the scares and you like the laughs, right? And I mean, that's what they say comedy is supposed to be. It's supposed to be, we take you to this absolute edge of uncomfortability, then we let you know it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the release comes with the laugh. And so, I mean, you pair that with horror, where the whole thing is this suspense, this scary music. The music cues can scare you alone at horror movies.
Yeah, and the jumps and things like that.
I will sometimes now that I'm old and not as strong as I was when I was younger, when I hear the music coming, I will just shut my eyes. It's a trick I learned from my mother, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it.
That's great.
I actually got busted on that Universal Studios ride, The Mummy, because I had taken it once before and I was really scared. And then I went and I took the Mummy ride again, and they take a picture of you, and I had my eyes shut, and people were like, come on, man, really? You had your eyes shut? And I had my arms like crossed over the bar, holding on for life.
I love being scared. I think it's great. I don't know. We're very different on that.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the first thing I do is scream, and the second thing I do is just cackle laughing, because I always am combining being scared and laughing for some reason. But yeah, I love rides like that. I don't usually get scared. I'm usually just loving it. And I love reading horror novels and things like that, too. And the thing I like about horror comedy is not just that it combines, that fear and laughter that is my response to being scared, but also I love camp.
Yes, I love camp.
And horror comedies usually are quite campy. I don't think Ghostbusters is really that campy.
Not to me.
It's pretty mainstream.
Yeah.
But I do love a campy horror comedy like Ghoulies.
Yes.
Something like that, where they're coming up out of the toilet. Tiny monsters.
When you see tiny monsters coming up out of the toilet, and that is your poster for not, one, but two films. And then the third film, the Ghoulies go to college.
Yes, of course they do.
And
why wouldn't they?
And then they have their little hats on.
I can't stand it.
Oh.
It's the best.
What a great franchise.
I mean, yeah, if there's little monsters coming out of a toilet on the cover, that's a must-see film for me. I'm like, throw it in the cart. We're buying it.
Critters, another one.
Critters.
Oh my gosh. The hard part with Critters is I don't want the critters to lose. The critters are my favorite part because they're so entertaining.
They're ridiculous.
And why are they kind of cute? I don't understand.
I don't know.
That.
They're like little fuzzballs.
But they're spikes.
But I like Tremors.
Tremors is great.
Movie.
Yep.
I mean, I like a lot of really campy kind of horror movies. Motel Hell, Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I go a little bit harder than you.
Yeah.
With some garbagey kind of movies, but I really like them.
Well, you and I bonded.
Like lower budget and more junk, the better. I kind of love that stuff.
We bonded over, a junk movie.
Yes, this is true. Although I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe it's less junky than we thought. But the first day that John and I met, we met because I was auditioning to be in some plays that he was producing with this theater company in Boston. And after the casting was done and everything, we went out to dinner. Yep. And we were talking about movies. And John starts talking about this movie that he assumes no one has ever seen. And he says, there's this weird guy who's escaped from a mental institution. And he walks around with a little sickle and just goes up to people and is like, no drugs, no sex. And I'm like, Happy Hell Night? And
yeah.
John couldn't believe I'd seen it, and that's when we probably knew we were going to get married.
Exactly. That's when I knew she was the one. I'm like, she knew Happy Hell Night? I mean, that movie, I love it. I say it's junky, but I mean it in a wonderfully loving way, like a
Yes.
big bowl of Cheetos, you know,
Yeah,
like
oh,
junk
yeah.
food. This is my kind of junk
Yeah,
right
no,
here.
I say that in no form of an insult
No.
whatsoever.
This is high praise.
Yeah.
Like, if this is something that, like, I had my name on, I would dance in the street.
Yeah.
I would show everyone this.
I would be thrilled. And this is another one, that's another movie that my family all came together on. By that time, it was my stepdad rather than my dad. My dad would have hated Happy Hell Night, but my stepdad was into camp and comedy and things like that. So I think the first time I saw that movie, they were picking us up from a weekend at our dad's, and they said, "Oh, we just saw this movie, and you have to see it." And they had taped it so that we could watch it as soon as we got home, and we all just laughed to death all night watching that crazy movie.
It's perfect. I mean, yeah. No TV is one of his other killing things, and then he has the song.
Yeah.
Well, then they made it into like a punk song, right?
Yes.
At the end, like they sample the killer going like no
it's-
sex, no TV, and then a like Happy Hell Night kind of chorus. It's a groovy tune.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go see that movie too. We're not doing a podcast about that, at
No.
least right now.
Yeah, you never know. In the future, it could come.